Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. My name's Gene Boykin. I'm the founder of the Gogetter family. And as you guys know, this channel is for entrepreneurs that came from nothing, came from the mud. And we're here to give you guys the actionable knowledge and tips so that you guys can do the exact same thing that we're doing. Invest in real estate without using your own money. All right. And tonight, I'm excited about tonight's episode. I'm like super excited. I got Tadi The Hot Wholesale on here, and she's got a hell of a story, you guys. Hell of a story. She's out here making major moves too, doing major moves. So, Tadi, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm super happy you're here. So, how you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good, good. So, Tadi, I like to dive right in, right? I want to first off, Tadi does virtual wholesaling. Right? Virtual wholesaling. So, explain to us what that is.
So virtual wholesaling is just wholesaling on your computer. You can virtually wholesale where you live. You don't have to go walk properties. You can come up with a whole system utilizing boots on the ground is what we call them, people that are there in the market that you choose. I decided to virtually wholesale because where I lived was Las Vegas and it was crazy competitive. And I just felt like I couldn't get an edge there. So I went virtual 2,000 miles away in Ohio and I feel like I struck gold.
That is so dope. That's super dope, man. Like, so you were a beginner. I want to rewind a little bit though, because I have people that, that watch my channel, which I love y'all. Go get your family members, man. I love y'all. I got something for you too. But I have people that watch my channel and, there's a lot of them are beginners. And then a lot of them have analysis paralysis and they just don't know how to start, don't know how to take that first step. So, the way that I met you, I reached out to you on Instagram, and what caught my attention was you were doing a live and you were holding one of your babies. And I thought that was so dope. I was like, man, you were mothering while you were, on IG Live, like hustling too. So, yeah, I respect. So I was like, man, I just got to shoot you a message and let you know that I respect it and what I thought. But then when I heard your story, I was like, man, we got to tell everybody about this. So talk to me about what got you into wholesaling.
So I was actually a waitress in Vegas on the Strip at an Italian restaurant. And I was making pretty good money there. So I wasn't really, I've tried. So you guys probably hear my baby crying in the background too. My mom's leaving her bath. I don't know what is going on there, but don't worry. No child abuse going on. They're safe. But I had my son at the time. He was 3 and I was a single mom. So I wasn't really sure what to do when I got laid off. COVID happened. I got laid off. Previous to that, though, I had like 6 different businesses. They all failed. I tried to have a cleaning company, food business. Like I tried so many different things, guys, car flipping. So I always had an entrepreneurial mindset. I never wanted to work for other people. I think that was a big thing. Then when I got laid off because of COVID, I really didn't have a choice but to find a hustle, but to find something. And that's when I joined the wonderful world of YouTube, where a lot of you guys probably are right now. On every YouTube video, binge watching, trying to figure out where can I start. And like you said, I just saw one thing in common with what everybody says is don't get into analysis paralysis. Don't overanalyze anything. Just jump right in and you'll learn while you're doing it. So that's what I did. I probably watched videos for like 3 or 4 days and then pulled a list, got a dialer, and I tried in my hometown. I tried like everybody else. I got bandit signs and it sucked. Everyone cussed me out and hung up on me. And I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. And I remembered somebody, it was a Wholesale to Millions YouTube channel. He was talking about virtual wholesaling and he was doing cold calls live, and he's a Filipino guy and his accent is crazy, but he was cold calling, locking up deals. So I'm like, no way. If this guy can do it with that accent, I can do it. So tried the virtual thing. And that first week I got 3 people that said, yes, I want to sell. So that's pretty much how it started. And it just snowballed from there. And I haven't looked back since.
That is so dope. You said the first week you got 3 people that said yes?
The first week I went virtual. Yeah. So the week before that, about a week and a half, 2 weeks before that, I was just doing Vegas and I was just getting cussed out and hung up on. And as soon as I went virtual that first week, I got 3 yeses, which turned into 2 deals. And that was May. By the end of June, I had already closed 6 deals.
Wow. Holy crap. So
Great
May and then by
start.
the end of June, 6 deals. But
Yeah.
when we talked, and guys, I do have to say this, we are going to answer questions for you. If you are live and you ask questions on the second half of the show, we're going to give you the game. But you got to be watching live and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Tadi, when we talked the other day, though, you told me you had kind of dabbled because, like you said, a lot of entrepreneurs, they'll do 4, 5, 6 different things. Try it, and maybe fail or maybe almost get there and then see something else that looks a little bit better. So that
Yeah.
I can try something else, like I've been
Yeah.
there. Yeah, I'm not preaching from a soapbox here. No, it's from
Yeah.
experience. But tell me about your wholesaling experience initially.
Before all that.
The two signs you told me about.
Okay, so that's like so when I was 19, um there was this guy Daniel Wiafi, the house flipping ninja, and this is when like flipping houses was just going crazy on HGTV and everything. I
Yeah.
think that's right when like Flip or Flop came out and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
I'm watching all that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a house flipper. So he
Right.
was teaching wholesaling. His class was like $5,000. Didn't have the money, so I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get my real estate license because I can go to get my real estate license and maybe I'll just do real estate that way instead.
What is it?
What Daniel had was like a bird dog kind of thing. So he taught us methods of marketing, but we were supposed to bring him the deal. He closes the deal, we get paid off of it pretty much. So
Okay.
I got some signs from the dollar store. I put up like 2 bandit signs and
Yeah.
then I was like, "Nah, this isn't it. This isn't for me." So I got my real estate license.
Oh,
Get
you
my
did.
real estate I
Mhm.
did. I got my real estate license.
Okay.
I cold called very not consistently, very inconsistently, like sporadically for like 6 months, and then I
Mhm.
was like, "Oh, this doesn't work. Real estate doesn't work."
Mhm.
So, I took my real estate license and I started selling timeshares. Those are big in Vegas. So, I got a job at a timeshare company. Everything happens for a reason. I learned sales there and I got killer at sales. I got promoted,
Mhm.
made the most money I ever made in my life there, blew it all, and back to working 9 to 5s and
Yeah.
working hourly. So
Do it all. You were in Vegas. I mean, what else is there to do with your money, right?
yeah, that
No.
was I know I wasn't even 21, so I couldn't even be in the casinos, but I found ways to blow it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always a way to blow that money now. That is for sure. So wait a second. How old are you, Toddy?
I'm 27 now.
27. Okay, so I mean, well under 30 and out here making moves because we're not even halfway through your story yet. But I do have to rewind a little bit because I talked to a ton of people. There's somebody watching right now that actually has a story similar to yours. He just posted this in our private Facebook group today that he has started, a number of businesses, and he said, they failed, and I use air quotes because I do not believe in failure. I believe in lessons,
Mhm.
and we take those lessons that we've learned from that and we use them. So I don't believe in failure, but it's kind of a similar story to yours. And he got my foreclosure course, and he's trying to avoid analysis paralysis, and take action. But what you did, I feel like it's amazing because you went out there, you saw something that you thought you could do because somebody else was doing it, so it can be done, right? That's why
Yes.
I'm sitting here today. Same kind
Yes.
of journey, but you did what most people do. You kind of got in and you half-assed it. I mean, you said it yourself, you weren't cold calling like you were supposed to. And you said to yourself, this doesn't work,
Yep.
it's crap. You know what I mean? And then you did what everybody thinks they should do for real estate, which is either borrow money or get that license, that
Yep.
realtor license. So, but man, from there, when we're backed into a corner, like desperation, that's like, I don't know, the mother of courage and like taking action and to kill your fears. So your first deal, how much was that? How much was that assignment fee, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it
And
was just under $15,000.
15,000 on your first deal?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, we got to give her a hand, y'all out there
It was
virtually.
like $14,960 or something like that. It was really close to 15,000, and it was
Walk us through it. Walk us through that because I want to know.
huge
Were you
learning
nervous? Like,
experience.
were you nervous when they said yes and like you had to do it? Just walk us through it. Tell me about that. How you got it?
So, first of all, I read the book on negotiating real estate, Bigger Pockets published book. I
Okay.
think it's by J.F. Scott. So I would wake up early in the morning and walk around listening to that on my Audible.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that they said in that book that, you know, if you take one or two things with you from every book you read, you'll be a rock star. So the
Mm-hmm.
thing that I got from that was, when you give your offer to the seller, just shut up. After you say the number, do not say anything at all. The next person to speak loses. So
Mm-hmm. Love that.
I had kept that with me, and I had this lead. This was a crazy, and it's never happened again like this. It was crazy how my first deal was like this weird thing, but the guy bought the
Mm-hmm.
house 2 years prior for
Mm-hmm.
$64,000. It was in the hood. He's collected rent on that house maybe for 2 months. Um, the houses were selling in that area for maybe 30, 40 grand. So he bought it almost double, but he bought it from one of those real estate investment trusts that make the
Oh,
properties turnkey, rent them out, and sell them for a stupid price. So he got
right.
screwed. His father-in-law had just passed away. The only reason he bought this property in Ohio was because his wife's dad lived there and they would visit him a lot. So he wanted a property there. This guy's
Uh-huh.
like a multimillionaire software engineer, whatever. So
Oh,
he didn't care about the money.
right.
So we actually, and I'll be honest, my strategy in the beginning, because I didn't have a lot of experience, was just to build massive rapport. I didn't have the experience or the sales skills, so I would just really connect.
Yes.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
his father-in-law had passed away in January, and my
Mm-hmm.
stepmom had passed away in January. So
Mm.
we had this one conversation where we both cried on the phone. And
Wow.
we had a really deep connection because we both lost someone really important to us. And they
Wow.
both had to pretty much die alone in the hospital, because that was that was in the beginning of COVID, when the hospitals knew about COVID but weren't telling anybody yet.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear
They
that
were
too.
Yeah, so they were keeping people away from their family. Thank you for that. They were keeping people away from their families. So we really bonded on that, and it's something that I always talk about too. Like, building rapport will get you the deal when numbers don't, because sometimes people need to get rid of the property, and they
Yes.
like you so much they're just like, F it. I want you to do good, so I will let you have it. And I was
Mm-hmm.
totally transparent with him. I said, you know, I'm new to this. My family and I were trying to invest, and he was transparent with me. This is a rough neighborhood. I've never collected rent, but the property's in great shape. Dude, this house was turnkey, like gray and white, granite countertops, white cab. It was a beautiful property. The only issue it had was one leak in the bathroom. So small plumbing issue. And the
Wow.
comps were around 30, and this is my first wholesale. So I'm looking at the cash comps,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, John, and I still remember his name's John. We still actually talk, like on the holidays and stuff. I always say, you know, Merry Christmas and stuff. But
Oh, that's cool. Relationships. Love it.
it's funny because I don't do it with a lot of sellers, but I do with him because I liked him so much.
Yes.
But he was like, I was like, John, he's like, how much do you think this house is worth? I said, honestly, he said, yeah. He said, just tell me, Toddy. I said, $15,000. And
Mm-hmm.
then I just shut up, like they said in the book. And he was quiet for the longest time. I'm like, he's about to hang up on me.
Awkward. It got awkward, right? Like
I
the
was so
silence.
nervous.
Yeah.
And he was like, is that really the best you think you can do? I was like, yeah. And I didn't even say yeah confidently. I was just like, yeah. And he was like, all right, send the agreement. And I was like, no freaking way. This is really happening. Like, no
Yeah,
way.
you're all hype. Yes. Love it. Hearing out loud in your head. Like, yeah, love it.
I was like, okay. And I was trying to sound really professional. I'm like, okay, great. Come to you within the next 5 or 10 minutes. You know, if you have any questions, let me know. He signs it. It was tough because he had property managers I had to coordinate with for every showing. So I tried to get like 3 or 4 people there at a time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had to, you know, kind of act like they're just, I always say like they're inspecting the property. I never say they're buyers, and I never say they're, like, I never lie. I just say,
Yeah.
I'm sending some people to inspect the property.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's synonymous with,
Yeah.
a walkthrough or,
A
whatever,
walkthrough.
a showing. I mean, they're inspecting it. So, yes, absolutely. That's the beauty of language. We have to use
Exactly.
it. Mhm.
Exactly. So, coordinated a couple times with the property manager, had some people go through, and I was able to sell it for, so originally the assignment was for 31,000, but then there was a little bit of like liens, a little bit of this and that. So, and then the rent proration and stuff, so it came out to just under 15,000.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was almost a $17,000 deal, a
Mhm.
$16,000 deal, but then it ended up being 14 something, which was crazy. But that deal didn't close until after my second deal closed, which was interesting because remember I said that first week I got 2 deals.
Yeah. Oh,
The
yep.
second
Mhm.
deal, it sold within like 24 hours and closed within like 10 days.
What? Wow. At
Yeah,
the title company, too? That
at
was
the
a cash
title
crop,
company.
obviously. Yeah.
So
Wow.
the first money I technically actually made
Uh huh.
was actually $18,000 and some change.
Oh, because that second deal was 3,000 and about
No, no, no,
3,000.
it was 18,000
That was 18, and then you got 15 like a little while after that.
right after.
Bowling. Oh, you was in Vegas too. You weren't even
I
21 yet?
In June, I made like $38,000 when those deals closed.
Killing the game.
Yeah,
That is the beauty of real estate. I love it.
it
I
was
do.
scary.
Yeah. Yeah. It was scary, but I mean, I'm sure exciting at the same time. You
Oh, yeah,
know,
I didn't know what I was gonna do. I'm like, "I'm gonna buy a boat," and then I was like, "No, don't buy a boat."
Lake Tahoe and all that stuff I heard is beautiful. So hey, why not? Right? We can make this money so easy. So let's go. That's
Glad
fun.
I didn't buy a boat because every month isn't like that, but it's okay because there's some great months.
Yeah, there's great months and then there's those, those slim months. But
Mhm.
for everybody just popping in, this is Tadi The Hot Wholesale. She does
Nice to meet
virtual
you.
wholesaling. Yes, guys, she has blessed us with her presence. And I brought her on. No, seriously, because I do no money investing. I do creative financing, subject to I teach people to become the bank. And I fully believe in never, ever using your own money to buy real estate, to do real estate. That's why we had kind of a long conversation with what you did with some of your money, and we'll talk about that further, but different time. But guys, thanks for joining us. We are going to answer any questions live. So we do wholesaling as well, the Go Getter family, and we're getting into virtual wholesaling. So that's why I wanted to bring Tadi on, so that you guys can all see the options that we have with real estate, guys. We have options. We have to get out of that tunnel vision of thinking that we have to borrow money and then that we have to do a fix and flip, that we have to do a fix and flip. So, Tadi, you said it was how long? 3 weeks once you got started in that before you got that first deal?
Yeah, my 3rd week, I got 2 deals.
Yeah, that's dope. And that, some people will go months, right? I mean, they'll go months without a deal, but you
Yeah,
got,
results not typical, like they say, like, it's totally not typical, and don't expect to, and don't be discouraged if you don't, because just because I got a deal in 3 weeks, that doesn't mean that I haven't gone 4 or 6 weeks without getting a deal, you know what I mean? Because that happens too. You have stretches where you're talking to so many people, but nothing's materializing. That's just
mhm.
the nature of this business.
Yeah, yeah, that's just the name of the game. And I preach all the time. One of these things is relationship equity, like you got with that first deal with John. But the second thing is, that we do not buy houses. We don't buy houses. We buy problems. And if we're able to be a solution to that problem, then people will let us do, damn near anything as it pertains to that house. So just like John's situation, I mean, you were helping him with the problem. He wasn't really financially hurt, but you established that rapport. And I believe, it was like you helped him with an emotional problem. And
Yeah.
he kind of helped you at the time, like you said, things happen for a reason. So talk to me about why you picked Ohio, from Vegas to Ohio. Like, what was that?
Yeah, so when I was going crazy on Facebook and YouTube and everything like that, I joined a couple Facebook groups that were just like nationwide wholesaling groups or nationwide cash buyer groups, and I was just going through them, and I
Mhm.
kept seeing properties in Cleveland for like 20 grand, 20 grand, 20 grand, 15 grand, just like the cheapest. And I'm from Vegas, and the average house out there is like 350,000.
Yeah.
So it was me not knowing a lot about different markets and appreciation, and I'm like, oh my god, if there's a house, if people are giving me a hard time trying to wholesale these expensive houses, maybe going doing cheap houses will be easier.
Hmm.
It was just a mindset thing for me. I thought maybe it'll be easier because the price points are less. Well,
Right.
now obviously I know it doesn't matter if the house is worth 300,000 or 20,000. It's
Hmm.
really, like you said, solving a problem. But
Hmm.
back then I didn't have the confidence to go try to attack a $500,000 ARV house. I didn't feel like I knew enough. I didn't feel like I had this mindset of, oh, I have to convince. I don't know how I'm going to convince someone to sell it to, which isn't how it is at all, guys. Like, no
Hmm.
convincing necessary. If someone wants to sell, they'll sell. So it was just a lot of mindset stuff that led me to Ohio. But the other kind of thing is when my son's dad and I were still married, we always used to look at like cheapest houses. I forgot what it was, but like biggest houses for the least amount of money in the United States or whatever, because we wanted to like move to a crazy big house. And
Uh-huh.
Cleveland was always on that list. So when I saw Cleveland in those Facebook groups, it
Yeah.
kind of was like a, "Oh, that was almost my home," kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
like omen on, like, yeah. Hmm.
yeah, did you say like an omen?
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly, yeah, it was exactly like that. It was like, it was like it felt like destiny. So I just went with it. I'm a big like go with your gut kind of person. And
Absolutely.
then like look, here I am, here living here now kind of.
That's
Living in
amazing.
a Cleveland suburb now.
Yeah, you're in the burbs though. You ain't in the hood where that first house was.
Oh
So
no, I'm far from there. And
yeah.
I still don't go anywhere. I still virtually wholesale. Like I still my boots on the ground still goes to all the houses. I don't go to houses. I don't go to appointments.
Wow. That is dope. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more, but I just want to touch on the mindset thing. The mindset thing, because people take that for granted sometimes. A lot of people do, but that's why, I heard this statistic, and when I first heard it, I didn't believe it, but I heard it from somebody who was like really somebody. So I did believe it at the time, but I was like, I'm gonna have to double check that. 95% of real estate investors fail. They fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa, that is a super high number." But I checked it out and it's true. 95% of real estate investors fail. And there's a number of different reasons why real estate investors fail, but in my opinion, the number one thing is mindset. And I'm going to tell you why though real quick. Because some people will say it's money, right? And not having enough money, not having the right financing. But mindset will have you with these limiting beliefs too. Like I become the bank. I didn't have any money. I got my first house, man. My first house was almost like a situation like yours. It was like too good to be true, like how in the hell did this even happen? But it's happening. But I didn't have limiting beliefs when it came to, this strategy, subject to and creative financing. When I found it, I was like, oh my God, somebody's doing it. So that means it can be done. So that means that I can do it. I just have to follow the breadcrumbs. But I always knew in my mind, even though I was scared when I was talking to these sellers, and I was nervous about the contracts, and I was doing the convincing thing too, and trying to like, are they going to believe that I'm an investor, and that I'm actually, like I'm somebody. I'm not like, but I just knew in my heart, my soul, that I was going to do this, and there was no other option, and not a lot of people have that. So I commend you for that, having that mindset, and then also for stepping out there and taking a risk. I mean, you're way in Vegas and you decide on, Ohio. Like that takes a lot of courage. So, pat on the back to you. Pat on the back to you for that.
And to you too, it's not easy to overcome those limiting beliefs. And I think what you said is so, 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 so important, guys. If there's anybody out there doing anything, you can do it too. They're not smarter than you. They're not better than you. They
Mhm.
don't, they just know things that you don't know yet. That's
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
You're
Mhm.
everyone is born with the same 24 hours and the same capacity. I mean, obviously there's people that aren't born with everything, but I'm 100% sure that everyone watching this right now is smart enough to get a contract signed and assigned. It's not difficult. It's just putting those breadcrumbs together.
Yep, yep. That's it. Following the breadcrumbs, and know this too. Um, first, if you don't have a mentor, you should probably get one. But if you don't have one, it's not like absolutely necessary to have a mentor. I'm not saying that, but if you're trying to get a deal and you don't know what to do, you're nervous, this that, don't go to people and say, hey, will you teach me how to do this? And I promise you that I'll partner with you on my first deal after you teach me. Guys, don't do that. I'm just giving you a word of advice. Like, do not do that. What you do is you go out there, you hit the ground, you take action, you make mistakes, you learn from them, you get a deal under contract. And if you don't know what to do after that, that's cool. That's cool, because I'll tell you what, if you call me, message me and say, hey, Gene, I got this deal under contract, man, and I have no idea what to do now, I'm going to hit you back right away. Toddy, what do you think about that?
Of course, yeah.
Value.
It's important to bring value, and it's important to like if there's somebody that you look up to and you want to learn from, it's important to be respectful of their time and show them that. Obviously don't put them on a pedestal, because there's a lot of things you can learn on your own. But
Right.
if you guys but even before you do that, you guys, there's people that you probably know that you're not even thinking of that can help you. Like my uncle has 12 properties. I didn't even know until I started doing this. And I told my dad, I'm like, Dad, this happened. I'm trying to do real estate. He's like, did you ask him? I'm like, why would I ask him? He's like, what do you mean? He's a landlord. He has 12. How would I have known that? There's people that you guys know probably on your Facebook or something like that that can
Mm-hmm.
help you. And if there isn't, there's so many Facebook groups that like wholesaling houses, ground zero, for example. If you post a question there, just
Mm-hmm.
be careful. Take everything with a grain of salt, because you might have people giving you bad information too. But if
Mm-hmm.
you post something and there's 30 comments and 10 of them are saying the same thing, it's probably true. Like,
Right.
one
Yeah.
thing I posted once in a Facebook group was like, "This house I wanna wholesale has squatters, what should I do?" You know?
Ooh, squatters.
Some people were like, "I would go in there with an AK-47," like, something dumb, but then
Right.
some people would be like, "Hey, there's cash for keys, you can offer them some money to leave," and that was good advice, and it worked, and then I got to wholesale the deal, you know?
Yep.
So and I didn't even have to put the cash up, the buyer did it. You know, I said,
Exactly.
"Hey, why don't you do this?" And they did it, they got the people out, so utilize your free resources, that's what YouTube is for. Most of the stuff you have a question about, type it on YouTube. The only thing is, once you watch it, you need to be able to implement it. And
Yes.
then, of course, if you have a deal under contract and you need help, any wholesaler is gonna help you, but make sure you pick the right one because some people are out here only looking out for themselves.
Oh, yeah,
Jean
absolutely.
isn't, I'm not. So go to people who you can feel people's energy through the screen. Just try to see if you feel like they're a good person or not. And Denton said mentorship has to be organic, I feel. You know,
Mhm,
to a point, yes, but
mhm.
also no. When I was working as a waitress, this guy put a business card on the table. It said "real estate problem solver," and I
Mm,
followed him on Instagram. And that was like a year before I got laid off. And I'm
okay,
watching him flip houses and everything. And when I got laid off, I hit him up and I'm like, "Hey, how'd you start in real estate?" He said I was wholesaling. And I'm
uh-huh,
like, okay, wholesaling came up again in my life after I put those two bandit signs up when I was 19.
right,
Now I'm 25 and wholesaling comes up again. I'm like, this has to be God. Like, why would this come back up now? And I just got laid off.
uh-huh,
So guess what? He ended up being someone I could text and be like, what's a lien? Which
yeah,
is
right, yeah,
I could have looked it up on Google. Like, and
Google, yeah,
I always tell people Google, YouTube, then ask me because you have resources that are free, you know?
exactly,
But you don't know, you might reach out to people, see if they'll help you. And then if you really need someone to help you through a deal fully, like he said, get it under contract or at least get the verbal with the seller. You're not going to have anybody who you can just hit up 24/7. Hey, can you help me comp this? Hey, can you help me talk to the seller? Unless you're paying them. It's just not going to happen.
yeah, yep, that's true, and guys, like, you have to be respectful of people's time, and people will the people that you wanna get to and that you want to work with or emulate, if you are truly a go-getter, and I sound cliche because I started the go-getter family, but if you really are a go-getter, these people will notice that, and they will see that in you, right? If you bring because the 2 places that I've got to in life, one of my mentors, I told him I was gonna be in his inner circle, and I was gonna show him with my actions. I wasn't going to do it by, emailing him, what's a lien, if they like, I'm going to show you with my actions. But I did like question him 100 times after I got my first deal because I didn't have a mentor. But same thing with the, with my second situation that's coming up, So guys, I just want you to get out there, take some action, take action before you get that analysis paralysis. And then secondly, okay, if a person because there's a lot of people out there that say they do things in real estate and they don't. Okay, they just don't. They read a book and now they say they can teach you or whatever. I mean, to each his own, whatever. But if you are going to pay a person for a mentorship or anything like that, you need to see at least a proof folder, of some things that they have done, and make sure that it can't be edited and things like that. You need to see some proof, guys, because it's rough out there, and it kind of works my nerves. It gets under my skin. Also, I need to welcome 2 new members to the Go Getter family. Ashley, she got in my one-on-one mentorship, and that's difficult to do right now. But I saw that spark in her, so welcome, Ashley. And then also Brenda out in California. Ashley's in Texas, Brenda's in California. Brenda, I'm talking to you tonight. Welcome, guys. Welcome, and thank you for trusting me to help you to get financial freedom. Speaking of, I talked to Toddy like for a while. My fiance says like I talk way too much, and I am working on it. I promise I am. I had Toddy on the phone for like an hour and a half or something. Finally, I heard her like, I was like, okay, I better shut up. Anyway,
Me or her?
no, me, no, you. I had you on the phone for like an hour and a half. I was
No,
like,
I side or she side?
you did.
Oh, I did. Sorry, no, I wasn't.
I'm
It's
just
probably
kidding.
the baby or
I'm
something.
just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But we talked about something that you could help my people out with, that you could help the Go Getter family members out with, and that's one of the reasons that I brought you on the show. So talk to us about that, will you?
Yeah, about
Your
virtual wholesaling crash
yeah,
course.
yeah, the crash course. Yep.
Yeah, so same thing. So one huge thing I think on social, like, yeah, a lot of people are liars, but you can totally tell when they are. I don't know if you guys notice, but if you follow someone and they literally never post a deal, They never talk about a deal they're doing. They never talk to a seller live. They never go like there's so many like if you follow somebody, I
Yeah.
think you can get a strong. But I follow some people who promote those Airbnb courses and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and they don't post their Airbnbs. Like, where's your listing?
Yeah.
You're an Airbnb guru, right? Where's your list? You know, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there's the proof is in the pudding. So,
Mm-hmm.
when I started wholesaling, I started my Instagram. If you guys go back to my first post, it's like me, like, oh my god, I'm about to cold call. I'm scared. And then, the next day, my first text blast, stuff like that. So people were watching that, and I posted my first YouTube video when I did my first deal, and people kept asking me like, "How did you do it? How'd you do it?" At first, I was helping people for free, and I
Yeah.
was like spending hours just talking on
Hours.
the phone and doing Zooms. And I'm
Yes.
like, "Why am I doing this? Let me just do a slideshow. Let me do a Zoom." So I did a free Zoom,
Mhm.
and people took the free Zoom, and they were like, "You should have charged for that. It was so good."
I remember
So
hearing that on your IG. Yeah, like people
yeah.
say.
A
Mhm.
lot of people were saying that, like, "Why did you do that for free? It was so good. I would have paid 500." It was crazy. People like, "I would have paid $500." I'm like, "Well, when I started, I got laid off, and I
Mhm.
didn't have money to pay for a mentor." And I
Right.
would hate for
Me
this
either.
to be another thing where the barrier of entry is so high that we can't get in, because
Yeah.
so many things in this world are created for people in poverty, which are usually Black and brown people, to not
Yes.
be able to achieve them. So
Absolutely.
I hate that. I'm a mom. I got kids. I know it's a lot of moms out there who need help. So I
Mhm.
did this like a 4-hour Zoom meeting. We did it like day 1 and day 2,
Mhm.
and I charged $50 for it. And
Mhm.
so many people came to it, and so many people like wanted more. So I did the crash course, which is a Zoom meeting. It's a day 1 and a day 2, and I
Mhm.
did it for $100.
Mhm.
And since then, I've had a 17-year-old make $135,000 on one deal.
What? Hold on.
Yeah,
He made 135,000?
on one deal.
Holy
After he took this $100 course.
my god.
Blake Lacey
Uh-huh.
made over 600 grand already in a year.
Wow. Wow.
600 he did more than me, in a
It's like,
year.
hold on, Blake. Now you're not
Yeah,
supposed to be.
but he's a single guy, no kids. He calls
Oh,
all day and night, and he deserves it. He works
absolutely.
harder than me. So, like, he
Mhm.
was literally cold calling from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day.
Right. Putting in
So
that
he
work.
got his own cold callers. He put in that work.
Yep.
So,
I respect.
um, so many people have told me you need to raise the price, you need to make it $500, but I'm like, no, because the whole point is to help people who are hungry and go-getters.
Yep. Yep.
So it's
And into
still
it.
$100.
Mhm. Mhm.
Almost 2 years later now, it's still $100,
Mhm.
and it's gonna always be $100 because I think the sad part is a lot of people will buy it and they won't even open it because it is so cheap. And like you said, like if people pay, they pay attention.
Yeah, I did say that.
I
That's true.
think $100 maybe is a little bit too cheap because a lot of people don't even open it. I think 30% of people don't even open it once they buy it,
Wow.
which sucks because if they did, they could change their life forever. So,
Their life, man.
what I
Man.
did do for the Go-Getter family though is I'm doing a discount. Instead of $100, it's going to be $80 for anyone who's a part of the Go-Getter family. We have a special link for you guys. And since you are Go-Getters, I'm expecting 100% of you to open it and
Yes.
100% of you to finish it. And I can see and Jean can see. So
Yep.
we're gonna make sure that you guys are doing it. Denton, yes, virtual wholesale can be mixed with creative finance. Same thing. You're going to be marketing, and once you come across those leads that can be converted creatively, you
Mhm.
do that. And I know Jean teaches you guys how to do that, so
That
it definitely works. And how does virtual wholesale work? If you're in a different state, it works exactly the same way as regular wholesaling. You just utilize boots on the ground to go walk the property.
mm,
And you do all your contracts on DocuSign. So I'm doing that special for you guys. I'm not doing any discounts on the crash course ever because it has way too much value for $100.
right.
So
But for the go-getter family,
go getter family, because you guys are go getters. I know you're going to utilize it, and I'm excited.
yeah,
I'm really excited, honestly.
I am too, and that's why I brought you on the show. This first off, we have to have an abundance mindset. First off, there is enough out here
Oh
for
yeah.
everyone. Okay, there's enough out here for everyone, guys. And we're out here helping people, we're out here solving problems. But I said to myself, Tadi, she told me where she came from. She was a waitress, and she was forced into a corner. And when she was backed into that corner, she won. She won, man. And I respect it. So I was like, Tadi, you have to come on my show and talk to my people, man. Because I want to bring you guys value. And if I'm not the right person to teach you, this is what I told Tadi too, is, if I'm not the right person to teach them, that's fine. I want them to find that right person. And Tadi, if you're the right person, well then, so be it, so be it. So she gave us a discount on that course. The link will be in the description. You've got to use that link to get that discount. And doing virtual wholesaling, it's going to open you up. All right, guys, it's going to open you up, and it's going to open your options up, because we want to have options. We want to be in a blue ocean. We want to be in a blue ocean, not a red ocean. Okay. A blue ocean, meaning that we can do a lot of things that a lot of investors cannot do. And if you can do virtual wholesaling mixed with creative finance, subject to, and the Go-Getter family's wholesale and hold method, guys, you cannot lose. You cannot lose. I kind of took Tadi to task because she just bought a short sale, a home in short sale, and I was like, what? We could have got that thing on terms, but she's going to teach me, because I'm not really that proficient at virtual wholesaling. So we're going to teach each other. But guys, we're going to answer some questions for you. Don't forget that link is in the description. The course is $80. My buying free foreclosures course is $97. I want people to win too. Make some money, get a deal, and then get a mentor to bring you to the next level. We'll make some money first, guys. We want you guys to win. We love you guys, man. We do. So
and I'm going to take your course, because you're right. It could have been a creative deal. And I kind of like touched on it with him. I'm like, hey, maybe we can just take over the mortgage. And I don't have any knowledge or verbiage. And when he did his first drawback, I was like, okay, fine, let's try the short sale. And we did it. But now I have 3 on the table in the exact same situation. And my partner and I are like,
yeah, you call me now. I love talking anyway. Like, man, what?
no, we're definitely going to get these done, because I don't know. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to take your course too, and learn and like work with you too, because like you said, there's so many avenues with real estate, and we're in our lane and we're going hard in our lane. And
Mm-hmm.
picking up that tool in my tool belt of creative finance and subject to it's gonna be over with.
Yeah, that's going to open the floodgates, because it will allow you to solve more problems.
Yeah.
I tell wholesalers all the time, send me your leads then. Send me the leads that you can't do a deal on, because trust me, I can. I can do a deal on anything. That's what I love about becoming the bank. So guys, there are a ton of questions up here, but I got to get to I see Michaela Crane Worley. Guys, put where you're from too on your question. We love to know where people are from. Michaela, I do respond to DMs. I do, but please be patient with me, because I'm just one person. I am just one man, and I have a lot of DMs right now. I'm going nuts on TikTok right now. So I have so many DMs, but I promise, you have my word, I will respond to everyone. So just be patient. I got you. Or do like I did. Get on your mentor. Get on the guy you want to be your mentor. Get on his live and bug him like I bugged Chris Haskins. But take some action too, though. Take some action, Don't bug and be disrespectful, but, I was being respectful. I asked the questions that I wanted to ask. So, guys, Tyler's going to pull up some questions for us, and I'll have Tadi answer first from her wholesale perspective. And then I might dig into them, might not. We'll go from there. So what do we got? Do you guys recommend investing in REITs? Do you know what that is, Tadi?
Yeah, real estate investment trust. I don't. I mean, you guys are here. You guys are talking to the people who create REITs. You go be a person to get deals and create your own REIT if you want to do it. Don't what's the point? You look really young. I don't know if that's your picture or just like a random picture, but if that's you, like you're way too young to be investing in a REIT. Invest in a REIT when you're like 60 and you don't feel like doing anything anymore.
And you got like a lot of money.
Yeah, and you want to make 12% on your money or something. Like
It's that.
you don't want to do that. Take your money and go make money with it like we do.
Absolutely. Like you heard Tadi on her first 2 deals, 15,000 something, and then 18,000 something. You put that type of money in a REIT, it's going to take you a long time.
And guess how much it cost me to market that first month when I closed 6 deals?
How much was it?
$400.
That's what I'm saying, man. No money. I say no money on that, because that's like ancillary costs. $400, like
PropStream list, dialer, DocuSign subscription.
Boom. That's all you need. She didn't say anything about a website. She didn't say nothing about no business cards. She didn't say nothing about no shirts with your logo on there. None of that. Like, you guys don't need that. Please, guys. I don't do the gimmicky stuff. I don't do it now. And I own a lot of houses. I've done a lot of transactions. I do not do the gimmicky stuff because we don't have to. When you know the essence of something, you can, it allows your mind to be more creative. It does. And Toddy mentioned PropStream. I love PropStream. When I got PropStream, it changed everything for me. I mean, everything. Because I'm like organically researching these properties. You know what I mean? I'm looking at public records. I'm looking at this website,
Seriously.
that website.
Seriously.
I got PropStream. Yeah, and it was over with. So, guys, you know, I hook my Go-Getter family members up. I hook y'all up. So, I've got a link in the description. I'm going to give you guys a 7-day free trial on PropStream. So, you can check it out. You can go get as many leads as you want. Use that link, and you'll see the Go-Getter family logo up there. You'll know that your boy Gene hooked you up. So, what other questions do we got? Tyler, pull us up something, man. Can virtual wholesale be mixed with creative finance? Oh, she already answered that. Let's go to another one. Want to give the
So
people
yes.
some
Yeah,
game.
sorry, I didn't know the Q. I was just started answering questions in the
No, that's
thing.
cool. You're hungry to give them the game. You're hungry to give them the game. You know what I mean? Tyler, you got any more questions for us on there? No more questions, only comments. Pull up some of those comments, man. Spreading the knowledge. And you know, that's the thing, guys. You got to have an abundance mindset. All right. You don't find this knowledge and information and then try to hoard it to yourself. You know, like you just don't do that. So I'm gonna ask Toddy a question then for you guys, and then we'll get up out of here because there's plenty of people watching. Toddy, tell us and tell my viewers the first 3 steps of getting started in virtual wholesaling and at least getting a deal under contract, because if a person has a deal under contract, you can bring that to a person to get help with the rest. So tell us the first few steps to get there.
So number 1, education. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be a little, it can be a lot, doesn't matter. Like I said, I watched YouTube for like 72 hours before I pulled my first list. But YouTube, Instagram, following people like us, spend whatever it is, 3 days a week. Don't spend more than that though. Then you get into analysis paralysis. Spend the smallest amount of time to learn the basic lingo. And not like shameless plug, but if you go on my YouTube channel, I have a real estate basic video, which is like the basic terms that you need to know to sound legit when you talk to people, like EMD. You need to know what your MAO is. You need to know what title is. You need to know what escrow is. If you don't know these basic things, you will sound thus to a seller. They're going to be like, you don't even know what that is. How are you a real estate investor? You know, so learn the basics. It's not a lot, very small amount of things. So that's number 1, learn the basics. Number 2, get his PropStream link that he just put up there and get yourself a list. You need a list. You need sellers. There's too much free information on YouTube for you guys to not be able to pull a list off PropStream by yourself. And if you're in a mentorship, ask your mentor. And then number 3, get your dialer and start calling people. That's literally all it is. Don't get too wrapped up in anything else, because until you're talking to sellers, you're not going to really know what to do or what's going on. Each deal is going to be different. Your first deal, there might have a lien. Your second deal, the buyer might be acting crazy. Your next, you never know what's going to happen, but you learn in the deal. So don't get too caught up trying to set everything up and have this perfect squeaky everything. No, get your basic education, get your list, get your dialer, and just start calling. It doesn't matter if you don't even want to cold call as your marketing method. You still need to do it because you need to know how to talk to people.
Yes.
Within that, there's so many steps or whatever you want to say, but that's basically it. I always say get your list, get your dialer, start calling, and use your resources.
That is dope. Like, she just gave it to you guys right there. You know, get some education, know those basic terms. And I always say, don't speak industry jargon. But if a person, you can tell if a person plays smart. See, I consider myself high level. So if a person says, well, you know, I'm an investor, then I'll say, well, okay, then you know that I have to put, you know, an EMD in and my MAO, you know, I'll start talking with the acronyms just to throw it back at them. Right, because you know most people aren't, so we have to put it back in their court, you know, or just I always do the put it on them too. Well, you know, your price is so high, I really can't pay that. Why don't you just get a realtor, do those repairs real quick, and get retail? I know they can't do that, you know, but I push it back on them. Why don't you just do that? You don't want me to do the deal because I can't go that high, guys. This is high level stuff. But then get your PropStream, get your list, and get your dialer. and then boom, you're off to the races. Just go. Just
Just
go.
go.
Fear, yeah, fear is made up. Fear is a made up thought. Fear is the thought that in the future something is going to go wrong. Something bad is going to happen and it's not going to go the way we planned. Well, guess what? It hasn't happened yet. So we don't know, we don't even know. Like we're just making it up in our head and it's stopping us. So believe in faith, and you're good, even if you make a mistake. So Tyler, do we got another question? We do. Guys, put where you're from too, please, so you don't use your own money in wholesaling. This is all you, Toddy.
You don't use your own money in wholesaling to buy the property. Marketing does cost money, but
Mm-hmm,
marketing can cost as little as you want it to. You
mm-hmm,
can market for free if you really wanted to. It's just going to be time consuming. So if you want to get the best bang for your buck, spend a couple $100 and market the right way. Get a list, get a dialer. If you want to get on your cell phone and download Google Voice and call people one by one from Zillow for sale by owner, you could get a deal like that too. If you want to go in Facebook groups and blow people up and say, I buy houses, you can get a deal like that too. There's so many ways to get a deal. You can do a wholesale deal 100% for free if you wanted to. My suggestion is don't do that because you probably will get discouraged because it's going to be so hard. And like he said, the only reason people fail is because they quit. So just to decrease your odds of quitting, if you call it oversaturated market, that's why I went virtual. It was oversaturated. I got discouraged.
mm-hmm,
You do go through the path of least resistance when you're getting started, just so
mm-hmm,
you can get the deal. And that involves spending a couple $100 on marketing. But as
mm-hmm.
far as doing the deal, no money. You don't need any money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's dope. And I want to say this, guys, because I'm a true believer in what I say. We don't buy houses, we buy problems. So I always say, narrow down your market, narrow down, choose a niche, right? Choose a niche and choose a problem, choose a motivation. I got my first house off of Zillow for sale by owner. I did, but I don't go on Zillow anymore for sale by owner. And if I do, these houses have to have been on the market for at least 60 days or more
Yes,
for me to
yes.
even call them, because I know that they can't sell it. They haven't sold it for a reason. So there's a problem. So if we choose, we put ourselves in a circumstance. We find that circumstance, guys, and that will get us the deal. So a circumstance is a vacant house, right? A circumstance is a divorce because somebody has left that house and now there's only one income, but those bills stayed the same. So guys, that's a problem that we can solve. So find a problem, and that'll be a cheaper way for you to start, right? Because there is a problem. And then research. I say research, man, before you go in. If you find a sweet deal, find out some information prior to, make contact, and you got it. So do we got any more questions up there? My biggest question as a newbie will be, what were your 3 biggest mistakes that could easily be avoided with a mentor's knowledge? Okay, I love this. Toddy, go ahead, take that one first, or you want me to?
Yeah, I can. So I'm pretty much perfect. I've never made a mistake. So no, I'm just kidding.
I made you on the thumbnail. I made you big, and I made me small. I was like, she's perfect. I got to make her bigger. Yeah,
I've never made a mistake in my life. I don't know what mistakes even are. What does that word even mean?
I'll
No.
look it up real quick.
So I got some deals stolen from me because I was just a total noob and I didn't understand the whole earnest money, getting it quickly, making sure it's there thing. So like I just trusted people when they said, "Oh yeah, we got the earnest money in," and I didn't check with the title company, and they didn't get the earnest money in.
Ooh.
So I lost a deal like that because they were actually a wholesaler. Um,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
just trying to market my deal.
Mhm.
So lost a deal like that, which could have easily been avoided with the mentor's knowledge because the mentor would have told me, "Hey, when you get your deal assigned, make sure you get the earnest money." Like, duh.
Mhm.
The other thing was when I did finally go to a mastermind and I this is gonna sound so dumb probably to Eugene, but I used
No,
to never recycle my lists. I used to always just get new lists. And I never recycled a list. And
hey,
I just didn't know. I'm like, and I didn't even, it's so funny because it's common sense. Like, of course, if you pulled a list of 1,000 people and didn't reach everyone, someone in there might want to sell in 3 months or 6 months, but I never called the same list again. So maybe like 8, 9 months down the line, I learned about recycling lists and I'm like, oh wow, but it's great because I had all those lists to call again. So
yeah,
um
true.
and number 3, I would say not wasting money. like you said, that shiny object syndrome. You start doing something and you're like, ooh, that looks good. Then you go waste money on that, and then you're like, ooh, that looks good, and you waste money on that. That can
Mhm.
easily be avoided if you have a mentor who has a specific system and a process that works, and you follow that process. You're not going to be
Mhm.
buying 10, 15, 20 different softwares
Right.
and lists and stuff. You're going to go exactly with what they say. PropStream, dialer, call. That's only thing you have to spend money on. So that would be my three.
Okay. Those, I mean, those are three good ones too. Everybody has their own, like, their own experience. We all bring our own different experience into everything that we do. So it's good to get different perspectives because we need that. We're going to be dealing with so many different people, and the path in real estate is never a straight path. I mean, it is never a straight path. I looked at Tadi's IG today, and she was on that thing with a crane of some sort, picking up a big old piece of cement. I was like, Toddy, what in the world are you doing?
Oh
So
wait, that's my biggest mistake. It's still happening right now as we
talk to
speak.
me. Talk to me about that. I want to talk. I want to hear about it now. Talk to me. What happened?
Well, I bought this house, like you said, I'm trying to do a flip, and it's like problem after problem after problem, and everything's just stacking up. And like you said, maybe if you were my mentor, or you know what I mean, maybe if somebody who's been through it already was my mentor. I tried to do a flip before this and I got scammed because I didn't pay for my own materials, like so many different things. I guess that was another biggest. I made so many mistakes. I don't know what's the biggest one.
Now you're thinking about it. You're like, okay, I remember that happened too. I forgot.
Yeah, like, oh dang, that happened too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's just say a lot of people owe me a lot of money still and haven't made good on it, and that could
Dirty.
have all been avoided with a mentor.
But you know what though, Toddy? This is why right now, right? You were able to move from Vegas to Ohio, just being a waitress last year and move into a beautiful home. You were able to buy a home on a short sale. And guys, a short sale, you need the cash money for that thing. Right? You got to have the money. So this is why the universe and God has been good to you, because you are a good person. You're a good person. And these things have happened to you, but you didn't let that tarnish you, or make you treat people differently. It just, so that's why I have you on my show. Like, I'm selective with who I have on my channel. I'm not just going to have anyone. So I really am thankful that you're on here. You're giving such great knowledge, man, giving the game. So I'm going to give some mistakes of my own real quick. One was, not following up with leads. Bad mistake, guys. Yeah. Yeah, like not following up. I actually got a deal, and the lady called me back 7 months later just because of rapport. But yeah, I was like, oh my God.
I
So
forgot about you.
yeah, I did. I was like, man, but that was a sweet check though. So yeah, follow up, guys, follow up. And then I would say, not understanding a transaction from beginning to end was a mistake for me, right? Because I mean, people could just, tell me things and I was just unawares, I was just like, oh my God, we have to do that. Oh my God. So one of my big things is we have to know the steps of a transaction from beginning to end. And then another mistake of mine, which I believe was my biggest mistake, is not talking confidently when I'm speaking to these people, whether it's at the recorder's office, whether it's talking to a prospect, a buyer even. It's just being timid, like, well, um, I kind of want 100,000 for that house. Like they're like, oh shit, I can get. If it's an experienced person like me, if you come to me like that now, I'm gonna get that thing for 25 probably. So be confident, guys, and it's okay to say, you know what, I'm not sure on that. I don't know that, but I do have a colleague that knows, and I'll give them a call and I'll have that answer for you. A person respects that more. So yeah, confidence and saying you don't know is fine. So we got a few more minutes, guys. I like to only keep people for an hour, right? I don't want to keep them too long. So any more questions up there, Tyler? What do we got? Amazing show, amazing knowledge, amazing, man. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're 3 for 3. How has the market been for wholesaling in the COVID-19 climate? Um, you know, yeah, go ahead, Toddy. I'm sorry. I'll let the ladies first.
I mean, COVID made me start, so I
Yeah.
guess I don't know it was like without COVID.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I really don't know what it was like before COVID. So it's been amazing. I mean, I started pretty much May 2020. I pulled my first list in April. I started calling May 2020, and I'm on like my 40th deal now. So
Wow.
And I haven't even tracked all my deals because in the beginning I was kind of messing up, so I didn't track all my JVs and all that stuff. But I've done over 40 for sure, and not all were big deals.
Right.
Some were a
Man,
couple grand, but
yeah, that's
it
cool.
added up.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm not about to I don't turn my don't turn nothing down but my collar pretty much. You know what I mean? Like hey, if it's a headache though, I might pass along. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I respect you getting them deals done, closing deals, making mistakes, learning from those mistakes, man. That's what we're supposed to do. Wholesaling for me, it's been good. It's been good. I've made my 18-year-old apprentice got his first deal 3 weeks after he turned 18, got a $9,000 assignment. And he did the same thing that I tell people to do. He came in my office one day and he was looking all funny. I'm like, dude, I'm like, Mama, what's up, man? He's like, Gene. I'm like, what's up, bro? Man, I got this deal under contract and I don't know what to do. I was like, what? I was like, dude, you were out there prospecting? Like I didn't know you were doing that yet. But I was like, that's what's up, man. That's dope. Like, it doesn't matter that you don't know what to do. You got the first half done. You got that thing under contract. So now you got me. Let's go. And he made a $9,000 assignment. So wholesaling, guys, those deals are there. I just don't like with wholesaling. The only thing I don't like is that equation that they say you have to, use. I do not like that.
70%
Yeah.
minus repairs,
Yeah, I don't even know it really
minus
because
your
I don't.
wholesale fee. That's
Yeah,
what they
no,
say.
yeah, I know you know it
It's the
because
worst.
yeah, I'm like, man, what? I don't even, equate those types of equations. I don't even bring those into the equation, right? I mean, because a person, like Tadi said at the beginning, rapport, and then can we solve that problem? And does that person think we are capable and competent enough to do it? So wholesaling, guys, is plentiful right now, although they are cracking down on wholesaling around the country. They are trying to legislate wholesaling out of our toolkit, right? So that's why creative financing, it's going to take a lot for them to legislate that away because those are their loopholes, So
Well, that's why you guys need to wholesale and get your money now, because when that happens and wholesaling is not allowed, you can still wholesale. You just got to close on it with your own money and then sell it, which we do all the time. You just close
yeah,
on it and then sell it. They'll never be able to stop anybody from buying homes. You can't do that.
right,
You'll
yeah,
always
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to buy a home.
It's just hard.
So,
It's just hard to close with your own money unless you get like transactional lending or.
so you need to get your capital up so you can do that.
Yes, and this is the
So,
way you do it right now.
yeah,
Get you some
wholesale now.
wholesale deals. Yep.
Wholesale now while it's legal. If they outlawed wholesaling in 2 years in the whole US, but
Mm-hmm.
you guys already built up your capital, who cares?
Right, because you're doing what Toddy's doing. You're
If they
making a
if
bunch of
they
mistakes with fix and flips.
if they outlawed wholesaling right now, I'd be good. Gene, you'd be good.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we did it
Yep.
fast and hurried up. So just
Mm-hmm.
start now. Don't tomorrow it, because we don't know how long we have with it.
Mm-hmm. My whole thing is this though, guys. Never go into a deal saying, okay, this is a wholesale deal. Okay, this is a subject to. Okay, this is a creative finance. Never do that. Never do that. We have to let the deal tell us what it is. The deal will tell us what it is. All right. And guys, and in 70 days, when I first started in 70 days, I made $62,185. That was
Wow.
all, yeah, that was creative financing too. Like I was, I got kind of lucky at times, and then other times I had positioned myself. So wholesaling or creative finance. What I say is learn all of those things, because I know how to do all of those things, man. And I have people come to me, brokers, experienced people that need my help, man. The We Buy Houses cash guy in my city, he comes to me when he needs help and advice.
Wow.
I love it too, because I mean, he thinks he's, this, that, because he's got a million, got a backer with like 10 mil or something, but he needs me. So knowledge, guys, knowledge is the new currency. So any more questions up there, Tyler, man? I know we've been working you to death. What is marketing and wholesaling? All right, Toddy.
Well, marketing is basically what you're doing to get to the seller. So you can be cold calling, you can be texting, you can be sending out ringless voicemails, you can be putting out bandit signs,
Mm-hmm.
mail, knocking on people's doors.
Yes.
Marketing is just how you're generating your leads.
Yep. Going to get a deal. You're getting a
Yep.
deal somehow. You're either going to it or you're getting it to come to you. So
Yep.
there's so many ways to do that too. Even getting in Facebook groups, guys, and commenting, almost like creep commenting too, like you're watching a feed and you're like, oh my God, this might be a deal. But my thing is subtlety. Subtlety and nuance wins the day all the time. So when we want something, when we want something, we don't go in there saying what we want. You just don't do that, because most of the time you won't get it, right? If we go into a situation with what the other person wants at the front of our mind, we will end up getting what we want. Okay. We can't, but you have to learn patience, guys. And just, it's art. I love it, man. I do. I love this stuff because it's art. So we'll take one more question, because I hear my daughter up there screaming, and she's the boss. That's for sure. So I learned e-commerce based marketing, but it seems that the marketing in this industry doesn't really use social media based marketing right. Hmm.
No,
What
I
do you think?
disagree. I think you can definitely still do social media marketing. It's just going to be a little bit different than e-com, of course. Um, but Facebook ads, Facebook marketing,
Mhm.
Instagram, it still works. It's just different. Like I get so many JV deals and sometimes even sellers coming to me because of my Instagram and YouTube platform,
Yes.
which you wouldn't really expect. But you just have to do it a little bit different.
Hmm. Hmm. I like that. Set yourself apart. That's one of our principles, is setting ourselves apart at the Go Getter family. And I kind of disagree too. Now, well, I guess I don't know if it's like being used right by others, but me personally, I love the artistry of things. So with my Facebook, with my business page, I don't go out there and say, "Hey, I'll do this for you. I can, whatever, whatever." I say, "Did you know that you didn't have to use a realtor to sell your house? Did you know that you can sell your house without making any repairs?" So I get them to try to, to come to me. Did you know this? And that'll open up a question in their mind, like, wow, I didn't know that. And they'll remember me where we buy houses and help people. So that, I love that, because that domain was still available, webuyandhelp.com. But, set yourself apart, but you have to do some sort of marketing. You do. And even if it's knocking on doors, cold calling, that's marketing too, guys. But you have to do it. A
Yep.
deal will not fall in your lap until deals will fall in your lap once you have earned that. You have to earn it.
Yep.
You do. So, Raheem. Hey, what's up, man? That's a guy. That's a go-getter right there. He's one of my students, man. Learned so much watching your videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And Toddy gave us the game tonight, man. She did. Guys, don't forget Toddy's course. She gave us a hell of a discount now. And we already know. I saw her IG feed before I even knew her. And I saw people saying that stuff about her course. So that's what kind of like drew me first. And then I saw her holding her baby during a live, and I was like, I respect her. She goes hard. So she's got to get on the Go Getter channel. Anyway, she's giving us a discount on her course, $80, but you got to use the link that's in the description to get that course. And it produces results. One guy made 600 grand in his first year. Another guy made $135,000 assignment, guys.
17-year-old.
Holy so his parents had to sign the contracts for him. Exactly. I love it. I love it. That's what I tell people, like, okay, yeah, you're 17, you're 16, cool. You can still do this. Your parents just have to sign those contracts for you. That's all. Get out
He
there.
retired his mom on one deal,
Isn't that dope? Oh my
and
God,
she just
man.
joined with him, and now they're doing wholesaling.
Wow. So that's crazy. Guys, did you hear what she just said? She joined with what her son brought to the table.
Yep.
She joined what? So mom, raised him, told him, hey, do this, don't do that, do that, set him in timeout, all this stuff. But he brought value, like I always preach, and she joined with what he was doing, guys. That is super dope, man. You got to get a video of this kid.
I
Oh,
did. So he's on my YouTube channel, but he didn't want his face to be shown because they live in they lived in a sketchy area, and he didn't want for his family to get robbed or anything. But
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a video of him and me talking on his YouTube channel. It's just black because he didn't want to show his face. But
yeah. No, I get it. I do. I get it, man. That's just,
some people don't want people to know.
yeah, I love it, man, because we show that like this can be done. We can do this. You guys can do this, right? And Toddy has a mentorship program as well. So, like I told her, if I'm not the right person for somebody, I'm cool with that. I am cool with that, but I want somebody to be the right person for you. That's what I want to happen. So, guys, her Instagram link will be in the description so that you can get to her, follow her on IG. Toddy's super funny on her IG now. I was dying the other day. I was like, oh my God, this is first thing in the morning. I'm already dead. Like I was laughing like, what?
I'm
So
goofy. I'm
Toddy,
very goofy.
yeah, that's cool. Hey, you're lighthearted, man. I love it, because this industry is rough. It was rough on you, man. A lot of people owe you money right now, and you still kept going. So, do you have any last words for the Go Getter family members before I get you up out of here?
No, thank you for having me so much. I really appreciate it, and this was really fun.
Yes, it was awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming. You're one of my first guests since the Go Getter family blew up. You know what I mean? So the people are gonna know you out the gate. You know, I got to talk to you about my roundtable too sometime, Toddy. Obviously we'll have more conversations, but we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that roundtable because I'm bringing something to the people. But it's all high level, so only high level people are gonna get to that roundtable with us. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the questions. And don't forget, right? Toddy's course, her crash course, a 30-day crash course, got everything you need. And it's got that Go Getter Family discount in the description. Link, hit that link. Also, PropStream, game changer. Game changer. 7-day free trial. Get all the leads that you can in that 7 days. That's what I like. That's what I planned on doing at first because I didn't have the 99 bucks I thought a month to pay for it. So I was like, I'm going to get all the leads I can in 7 days and then just, cancel it. So I got all the leads I could, but all the other attributes, I was like,
Man,
man, I can't cancel this. That $99 is so worth it. Like it is so worth it.
drop in
So
the bucket.
yeah, absolutely, guys. So click that link. Toddy, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I do. You were great.
Thank
And guys, thanks for
you, and
joining.
thanks everybody.
All right, thanks, guys. Till next time, let's get to it, y'all. All right.